Welcome to the Pharmacy Leaders Podcast with your host, Tony Guerra. The Pharmacy Leaders Podcast is a member of the Pharmacy Podcast Network, with interviews and advice on building your professional network, brand, and a purposeful second income from students, residents, and innovative professionals.
Hey, welcome to the Pharmacy Leaders Podcast Weekend Edition. First things first, just wanted to talk about a new pharmacotherapy book that I helped edit and publish with Eric Christensen of MedEd 101. It's called Pharmacotherapy, Clinical Pharmacy Pearls, Case Studies, and Common Sense. So many of you may actually already own the print or ebook, but over the last 2 months I worked with Eric and then narrator Mike Lenz to kind of bring it to audio because many of you are commuting to your APPEs, certainly commuting to school, and it's just nice to have something that you can listen to on the way. So if you've never been on audible.com, you can probably get it for free. You just go to audible.com, put in the word pharmacotherapy, and then the book will be right there. It's the only book that comes up. I don't know why no one's ever created an audiobook before. It makes sense. Everybody commutes. But anyway, that's available to you now. So, and then I've got a couple of free codes left. So if you want to email me, aagera@dmac.edu, just let me know and I'll try to get you one of those codes. Next thing is a couple jobs that Mike Casehob from Casehob Consulting told me about. So if you are in the Des Moines area, he's hiring a number of pharmacy technicians. Mike Casehob, again, is a person that has about, I want to say, 200 or 300 pharmacists that he's working with, and just really forward thinker, thinking innovatively how we can work with physicians, insurance groups, and all those things. But a great guy. So if you're in the Des Moines area, he is looking for pharmacy technicians. Contact him at mike.casehob, CASEHAUB, at casehubconsulting.com. Okay, so on to what's going on in pharmacy right now. So nothing about the schools and the job market. I'll leave that for another day. But start with the blog. So MedEd 101. He's not, besides the podcast, the Real Life Pharmacology podcast. He has a couple of updates: sulfonylureas, sulfamethoxazole, and trimethoprim. But again, a way to just get a weekly kind of 7 to 15 minute dose of pharmacology. And then his meded101.com has the blog. So definitely recommend you check that out. TLDR Pharmacy has some stuff on biostatistics and lit evaluation. And then about student loans was his last blog post behind that. So always recommend TLDR Pharmacy. They're not only really educational, but they're just kind of fun. Happy PharmD, so how to enter pharmacy informatics without a residency. So that's Brian Fung. Brian Fung's a YouTube pharmacist. He's got probably, I want to say, 11 or 1,200 followers, so he's quite well followed. He was from the University of Florida, and I think now he's in Minnesota, but he also went off and tried to find himself out in Iceland and some other places, but definitely recommend you check out his channel. Why every pharmacy should have a step challenge. So this is Dr. Adam Martin. I love kind of reading his stuff because he's always consistent in terms of health and exercise, and as a pharmacy professional, kind of walking the walk that you talk with your customers and patients. So a pretty extensive blog post about making sure that you're going to have a community to reach your exercise goals. Let's see, what was next? So the Mothership, in terms of podcast episodes, really enjoyed Pharmacy Future Leaders episode. What they did was they went on the streets and started asking people, hey, what do pharmacists do? And it went from, feeling good about the pharmacy profession to feeling like, really, that's what you think we do? That's all you think we do? And then, kind of hearing that we're I don't know. It was just definitely really enjoyed that Pharmacy Future Leaders episode. So I check it out. It was from Thursday. PGX for pharmacists. So life safety monitoring technologies. I think you'll actually enjoy this one. Talks about Star Alert and different way of making sure that patients are monitoring what we need to monitor, and then some other things in terms of safety. And that's Ken Sternfeld, RX VIP concierge. Pharmacy and fraud on Tuesday, as well as smarter communications with solutions with students on Monday. It was GRX Marketing Nicole McClure, who interviewed the VP of Pharmacy Automation, Travis Smith at Smart Solutions IVR Technology. So definitely recommend you check out the Pharmacy Podcast episodes. YFP, Your Financial Pharmacist. Whoa, turn off the volume. YFP was just, I was emotionally like hit really hard when I heard the intro, and that somebody who graduated with 160, that had no undergrad student debt, then went to pharmacy school, got 160,000 in debt, then did two, residency, PGY1, PGY2, and fellowship, and was now at $224,000 in debt, from zero in debt, after doing everything that you're supposed to do, and now I think she's faculty member somewhere. But that just broke my heart. It really did. I encourage you to listen to the episode, but just really admire that Brianne Porter would come out and be so transparent. I know many of you are struggling with your loans, feeling the bite when you finally get out of residency, out of deferment, and how impactful it is on your life. And, so if you do it the way that they tell you, 4 years undergrad, 4 years PharmD, then 3 years, you're talking about being 11 years out of 18, so you're 29, and now you can start your life. And as you try to start your life, you find out that 1/3 of your income is going to student loans, and it's just devastating. And I thought it was really great to see that there's a happy ending where she figured out the way that she wants to pay off her loans, and that it really doesn't, it affects her life, but I think that it's kind of about finances and paying off your student loans. As someone who did, when you pay off your student loans, it's relief, not joy. It's just like, oh, that feels better. But there's no real joy in it, or I didn't find any joy in it, and I don't necessarily think my wife found joy in it. So in terms of setting up the plan, the relief doesn't have to come at the end when it's finally paid off. Relief comes from knowing how it's going to fit in your life, to get some breathing room, to have a plan. So definitely recommend the YFP guys. These guys are working really hard to make things better. And then if you want a link to their course, just go to memorizingpharmacology.com. I have a link to their student loan course, which is, I think, $179. RX Radio, he had on someone that I talked to a while back, and she's she's a pharmacist, but she's a marathoner. She's just phenomenal, and I just really enjoyed the episode, and she I think she did Boston twice, and I think she was she had her baby 3 weeks before graduation, and had her baby while she was listening in on class, and just phenomenal person, and definitely recommend you check out episode 33 at RX Radio. Core Consult RX has been steadily putting out many pathophysiology combined with pharmacotherapy episodes, and I think he's up to episode 30. But definitely recommend you check out coreconsultrx.com. Get a ton of information from that podcast. I know that the Talk to Your Pharmacist podcast is now celebrating their first complete year. And Ann Burns, who was there when my wife was there, I want to say back in 08 or 07, She really just really nice person who's the vice president of professional affairs, and I think you'll really enjoy that interview. On YouTube, I rarely make YouTube videos, but I did this time because I started CrossFit this week, and it was amazing fun. I really enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, it was a hard workout, but I felt like there was just something missing, and having that kind of strength training and camaraderie, I just really enjoy it. So I'm here with CrossFit North Ankeny, and yeah, and I can't believe that on Sunday night I was so scared to go into that first day, but now I feel very comfortable. And I mean, it really is a certain kind of person that gets up to go to a 4:45 a.m. class 5 days a week, but I find that I really have a great community with those other CrossFitters. Kevin Yee talks about a couple of things. Talked to Brian Fung about moving to LA. And I love that Brian Fung, Paul Tran kind of go back and forth, and talks a little bit about morning routine, a little bit about break. Really, Kevin Yee's been doing a really great job of talking about life balance, and definitely recommend his channel. Brian Fung, still the trailer, so I'm still looking for the full movie. Hopefully it's a Kevin Costner type movie. I want to see all of Iceland, all of England, so hopefully he'll make a long video, but we'll see about that. And then Paul Tran, his last video was on the Amazon thing. So that's what's going on in pharmacy today. Definitely do check out the pharmacotherapy book. Eric Christensen, it's a best-selling book. Hopefully the audio comes out, as I worked on it for 2 months, very long nights. I was at my, just working on it, and I think Mike Lenz did a great job adding his voice to it. If you hear my voice in the beginning, in the intro, and you're like, oh gosh, just fast forward, or just click one chapter ahead, and you'll get Mike Lenz, who has been an audiobook narrator for a long time. But how many pharmacists does it take to make a pharmacotherapy audiobook? The answer is 3. So anyway, talk to you guys next week, and I hope you have a great weekend.
Support for this episode comes from the audiobook Memorizing Pharmacology, a relaxed approach. With over 9,000 sales in the United States, United Kingdom, and Australia, it's the go-to resource to ease the pharmacology challenge. Available on Audible, iTunes, and Amazon.com, in print, ebook, and audiobook. Thank you for listening to the Pharmacy Leaders Podcast with your host, Tony Guerra. Be sure to share the show with the hashtag #PharmacyLeaders.